And that is a perfect example of a kick. It just, as you say, Clive, stops the cue ball in its tracks.
Pot to corner combined with a return to baulk safety. Brown to middle, an unfriendly angle to get a break going. He can roll tight behind the yellow, but the main bunch is very tight and he might not get much advantage from that. Which is why
Peter Ebden won.
He screwed the cue ball back to the baulk cushion and used the brown to open the bunch.
Well, that was a delightful little flick off the yellow for Peter. He stopped a safety shot, returned to baulk here. Easy hit, but it's just another containing safety.
Leaving much more difficulty for Dot than if the cue ball had cannoned the yellow instead of just avoiding it. Dot could only play negatively. Again, Ebden was trying to leave the cue ball on the baulk cushion. The cannon on the yellow has left Dot with more options than perhaps he would have had from there. It's just a great arena for snooker, this, particularly in the one table situation. There are only 980 seats, but there's a unique ambiance in this intimate atmosphere. Deadly accurate. And as long as he avoided cannoning another ball, was bound to be on yellow at worst.
Yeah, he played it as a shot for nothing, but it's only a shot for nothing if you get near the pocket. That was an excellent shot from Peter, and to find the path round. As you say, the yellow, but he's using the rest. Well, not a big problem. Of course, I think we've mentioned it before. Peter's slightly colourblind. He has a problem differentiating the brown from the red sometimes. That way. So it'll be interesting. Let's see if he has a word with Jan Verhaas at some time during this break.
7.
To ask which ball's the brown. He probably knew that he sent it down there early on in the frame, and he's aware of where it is. But it is a problem, isn't it?
Well, I remember doing a session of commentary with Peter Ebdon about 10 years ago, and he made an extraordinary prediction once, and I looked at him in amazement, and it was simply that he'd identified the brown as a red.
Eight.
Not absolutely inch perfect on this black. I thought for a moment he may have played for the brown, but it's a little bit thin. He's going to have to play a little drag here with a lot of left-hand side. Now has he held that cue ball?
Thanks.
Possibly held for the red just above the black. He'll be running
12.
off of the reds, so he's just got to be careful the path of the cue ball, but if it goes right, should be on the black.
The secret of the success of this sort of shot, very often, is simply recognising the actual angle of the cannon, the contact at which you're going to meet the second ball.
$20.
When Peter landed on this red, the one he played for, just a little shake of the head. He wanted to be a bit straighter on this red. That's why. Well, maybe he feels he can run through and play for the black in the opposite corner pocket. Good start this from
21.
Peter. He made that look easy, but they're always a little bit tricky.
Yesterday, Graham Dott was professionally ruthless in dispatching Ronnie O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan was running on empty, but Ebdon's tanks
28.
are still fully charged.
Another good confident pot from Peter. There's a couple of reds loose, but this was it. And played it with pace, where you've got to be more accurate to screw on and off the top cushion. You feel he's got to play the cannon here.
Okay. Okay.
We move in, Ebden moves in.
Well, didn't play the cannon, so I can only assume there's a red at the top of that cluster that will go into the right corner. It's not on exactly as he would like. Straighter, he could have just stunned it in and played for the pink. But I think he's got to do a little bit more with the cue ball. And played it well.
37.
It's one of them shots when you're striking down, you play a little soft screw. If you just don't get through the ball, they can be missed. But this is a good start from Peter Ebden. And for his fans, supporters who were maybe a little bit concerned that that match against Marco Fu had taken quite a bit out of him, no sign of it. No sign of it at all.
A player of prodigious mental strength and stamina.
.44.
A player who has got himself right for this championship and has played here in the sort of form which bears no relation to his record in the season's previous tournaments, in which he reached not a single quarter-final. Went into the bunch believing
51.
that at the worst he'd have a simple red to right middle. But instead of straightish to right middle, it's either a thin cut or a pot to far corner. Within sight, though, of a 2-0 lead. One decent pot here, and he should do it.
Just looking at the angle to the middle pocket, I think you'd favour the middle pocket. You'd be on the yellow for certain. Just got to pot the red. And it goes.
52.
Nicely played. Still on track to win the frame at this visit. Just one good positional shot required. Oh, that's careless.
Peter Ebden, 52.
Fortunately, and I say that although he's left the red on, he underhit it. So he's not left an easy pot on for his opponent. Look at that, on the brink. More worried about the pace for the positional shot. Forgot about the pot.
Yes, again, wanted to pot it with as thick a contact as possible to leave this red straight to left corner, but overdid it.
One.
That was a nice pot from Graham. He's on the yellow, but boy, this is a tough shot. I mean, you say, well, it's worth the risk to try and cannon those 4 reds behind the pink, but when the ball's in the jaws like this, it's certainly not easy. Maybe thinking about coming cushion first, but he still wouldn't really have much idea the line of the cue ball. If he gets the cannon here, it'll be, well, one of the best shots of the championship.
Well, John wasn't talking about that cannon. He was talking about the one on the bunch. It's worked out all right.
It has, hasn't it? He's flicked that red on the left-hand side of the table, and it's given him a shot at it. If he could drop it in the left middle, leave himself a nice angle on the pink, maybe he could bring those 4 reds into play.
Four.
Early in the match, but the first test of Dot's grit and nerve. It wouldn't be terrible if he fell 2-0 behind in a best of 35. But he'd certainly rather be 1-1.
Well, he got the pink, this red just goes. And
11.
now, what a chance he's got here. Almost the same as the first frame. Peter Ebden got in, had a chance of winning
18.
the frame. Didn't, and then Graham was given a chance. He just missed a pink.
19.
Left it hanging in the jaws. But this is a better chance than that one.
$26. 27.
'This last red a colour and the 6 remaining colours.
34.
And as you say, Clive, very early in the match, but a big frame. One that he could never have thought of winning until Peter missed the yellow.
35. 42. 44. 47.
Brown simple. The key shot is going to be blue to pink. He doesn't need the black.
Yes, and in a way it's nice that the blue's on the baulk line. Doesn't have much to do with the cue ball.
51.
Excellent reply this from Graham Dott.
$56.
Just as well that he only needs the pink, instead of having to struggle for position for black.
62.
Ebden first in with 52, but later missed a simple yellow. Dot cleared to the pink with 62 to level at 1-1.
It's a very sound response from the Scot. Stephen John with me in the studio here. How do you think both men look very, very early stages of this final?
Well, I think they do both look in stroke. As we mentioned beforehand, we were back behind the scenes. The chances are that both players, if they get those chances, will not miss anything easily at the top of the table. But strangely enough, you know, missing that yellow, bizarrely, when you thought Peter Ebden was taking control of the game, it was a bit on the thin side, wasn't it, John? But yeah. I think probably the reason why a player would miss a shot that seems so simple is because
52.
The easier the pot, the more percentage of your concentration is taken up with the positional aspect of the shot.
I think with that one, though, he's just basically just trying to flick it, and he's got a little bit of left-hand side on it there, and he doesn't want to run too far for the loose red. So basically he's put a little bit of left on, pushed it right, caught it a little bit thick, and it's ended up in the jaws.
How nervous are these opening moments in the World Championship final?